Lock in your natural gas and electric rates now. Avoid the big energy rate spikes that come with warm summer months and gain predictability and control over this season's energy bill. Remember, when it comes to fixed energy rates, we have them. The local utility company doesn't. Visit BlueRockEnergy.com today to learn more and sign up.
Whether it's pizza or fruit juice, hot sauce or chocolate syrup,
head east, then turn left. Take the next left towards South Moore Park Road, then turn right.
Even pet-related accidents. Bishop's Carpet One Floor & Home has your carpet mishaps covered. Their Relax It's Lee's pet-friendly, stylish, and durable carpets are backed by the only 25-year, no-exclusion stain warranty. That's right.
Turn right towards South Moore Park Road, then turn right.
Absolutely no exclusions. Right now, you can get special introductory pricing on the all-new Lee's Carpet Collection with 18 months financing available. Whatever your flooring needs, Bishop's
in 600 feet, turn left onto South Moore Park Road.
Carpet One has you covered, from inspiration to installation. Their well-trained experts will take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. And best of all, you don't have to pay extra for personalized care. But remember, this sale is for a limited time, and only at Bishop's Carpet One.
Turn left onto South Moore Park Road.
Ithaca's favorite store for your home's floor. 430 West State Street, Ithaca, or online at bishopscarpet1.com. Finance subject to credit approval. See store for details. Everyone can do something to prevent cancer by eating better, staying active.
To learn how you can potentially achieve 20 or more years of income and deduct 100% of every dollar invested against all forms of income. Call 1-800-803-8511. That's 1-800-803-8511. Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary.
More local news.
For News Talk WHCU, I'm Chris Hedden. Governor Andrew Cuomo says a proposal to open supervised injection sites for illegal drug users in an effort to combat fatal overdoses will be closely reviewed. Cuomo said Friday the goal of fighting opioid overdoses is laudable, but that the plan to open injection sites raises legal questions. Mayor Bill de Blasio announced his support the day prior for a one-year pilot program to operate 4 injection sites in New York City. Cuomo says
income from investments and royalties. Nixon is married to Christine Marinoni, who left her job in New York City government this year. The couple contributed about $53,000 to a variety of environmental.
Head west on West Rolling Oaks Drive.
Mental education, arts, and children's charities, as well as homeless shelters and a public library. Nixon's opponent, incoming Governor Andrew Cuomo, similarly released his tax returns.
In 200 feet, turn right onto the US 101 South Rim. Turn right onto the US 101 South Rim.
Last month, Mike McCain, WHCU.
In 1,000 feet, merge onto US 101 South.
News. A Shermansburg woman's going to compete in the Jumping Teachers Tournament set to air this week on NBC. According to the Voice, Rachel Diegelberg, the special education teacher at Watkins Glen Elementary. Back in March, she flew to Los Angeles to record her episode of the popular longtime quiz show. While the Ithaca Farmers Market started up its first Sunday opening for the 2018 season yesterday at Steamboat Landing. It's an owner-operated cooperative outlet with over 160 members who produce their own foods within 30 miles of the Cayuga Lake location. The market's open Saturdays and Sundays through December, with 2 satellite locations in Twin Park and Eastfield Plaza. Checking WHCU Sports, the Mets face the Reds tonight at 7:05, while the Yankees play the Red Sox Tuesday at 7:05. Your weather watch forecast with clear skies overnight. 42 is the low temperature. News updates at WHCUradio.com. Breaking news, simulating talk is what we do. I'm Chris Hedden.
Liberalism must be destroyed. Have you heard that? You're all saying you heard it right here. Is that right? You remember hearing it here. For almost like 30 years. I mean, intensely in the last year and a half, 2 years. I went to the Media Research Center annual gala, and they play at this gala highlights the award winners, the most outrageous examples of left-wing bias, stupidity, and ignorance. And I've been one of the judges in that contest each and every year for 25 years or so. So as we got keynote the dinner, sharing that day, and I noticed everybody laughing, which, I mean, it's unavoidable. Everybody was laughing. All of these outrageous examples of liberal media ignorance, stupidity, hate, bias, whatever. I looked around, I saw there was like 1,000 different people all laughing. And it reminded me how I used to laugh. Starting in Sacramento in the 80s with the Great Peace March for Global Nuclear Disarmament. And then the environmentalist wackos in the Spotted Cow. The Earth First, and then all subsequent organizations that have left some of the crazy things the environmentalists wackos said we used to laugh at. And we'd say to ourselves, nobody is going to that stuff that we all laughed at has become mainstream left-wing radicalism. This is the stuff. And your kids are taught in school. You're paying $20,000, $40,000, $60,000 a year to send your kids away to actually become members of a cult, which is what I think higher education is today. Your kids are being indoctrinated into cults of left-wing radicalism. So I said in my remarks, folks, we laugh at this, but they believe it. They believe it. And there is no more commonality. We don't overlap. There is no slight area of commonality where we can compromise and agree. They are entirely different from us. And the room got blank. The room got very sober. And I didn't mean to be taken from it. But I think the idea that we have to defeat the left, yeah, some of us agree, but not enough. You know, the conservative intelligentsia in Washington doesn't want to defeat them. The conservative intelligentsia in Washington doesn't even believe the economic crisis anymore. They believe that it's possible to peacefully coexist as long as you have good manners. And as long as we have respect for the other guys, that it's possible not having enough beverage and talk things over and get along. I mean, they don't see any need to defeat them. Which, when a guy like Trump comes along and starts defeating them, look what they do. Conservative intelligentsia lashes out at Trump as he is, in many ways, implementing things they have claimed to believe in and support their own lives. And I have been on this intensely for 2 years. We all want to compromise. We all think there's virtue in it. We all think that it would be a great thing to be able to come to some mutual agreement on things, just to lower the intensity of it. But it isn't possible because we don't have any areas of overlap of commonality. So when you start talking about compromise, if you begin to compromise your principles just along, how good is that? And by the way, their definition of compromise is us caving on our principles. So anyway, I saw this headline, and it was sent to me. At Town Hall, it's a piece by somebody named Edward Hunter. Liberalism must be destroyed. And I have to tell you, I love this. I'm going to keep my ego in check here. I don't have much of one anyway, but let me just tell you this. I mean, what Snerdley told me the other day. It's not even what I told myself. Snerdley said, I can't watch or read media these days without seeing or hearing something you've been saying. Don't care where it is. And I said, you don't have to say that. I still love you. He said, I'm not sucking up. I'm telling you, I turn on the TV, I read, and I think, so many things that you've been saying, well, they add up. And this by Mr. Hunter, liberalism must be destroyed. Here's how it begins. If you thought conservatives could make nice with liberals, that both sides have the country's best interest at heart, you were wrong. This week, more of the con jobs and character assassinations the political left is attempting have been exposed, and if it doesn't make you realize the liberal industrial complex will stop at nothing to protect itself and destroy the Trump administration, nothing will. The economic news was all good this week, though you barely know it if you watch cable news. The unemployment rate dropped to 3.9%, which means nearly everybody who wants a job can find one. Same goes for the predictions that tax cuts will bring about pain and suffering. It's just the exact opposite. So where is the accountability for these politicians, pundits, and journalists who fan the flames of panic in trying to defeat economic agenda and tax cuts? Well, there isn't any accountability. Liberals can lie without fear of accountability because the people who would hold them accountable, journalists, are on their side. An example here is given of John Kerry. We haven't mentioned that yet. But here is John Kerry. But this is nothing new, by the way. But we'll deal with it. John Kerry is actually negotiating with his former counterpart in Iran in an attempt to undermine what the duly elected president intends to do regarding the Iranian nuclear deal. And people are shouting, Logan Act violation, Logan Act. Nobody's ever been charged with the Logan Act. That's not what's going to happen here. And it's not the way to deal with this. The way to deal with this is sunshine. People that voted for Donald Trump are not stupid. When this news appears, it has its desired impact. John Kerry is not beloved. There's not a whole lot of people sorry he's gone. There aren't a lot of people wishing he was the Secretary of State. The left may be out there cheering, but the left is not growing, folks. Let me rephrase it. Within the current time frame, the left's political fortunes are not expanding, contrary to all the conventional wisdom out there. They don't have this next election in the bag. They think they do, they talk like they do, they act like, but they don't. Because nobody yet knows what's going to happen. The one thing that we do know, the one thing that we can be very confident of is that the Trump base is not going to abandon him. Now, Trump is not going to be on any ballots coming November. So we have to factor that. But Trump's voters know full well what they have to do to support him. Now, most Republicans have just done before. But the idea that this is new, this is not new. Let me take you back to Ronaldus Magnus. Ronald Reagan, president from 1981 to 1989. And during that period of time, Ronaldus Magnus had as one of his stated intentions to destroy Soviet communism. And by the way, he did. The American Democrat Party was staunchly opposed to defeating Soviet communism. The Democrat Party in the 1980s was actively supporting Soviet client state communists, such as in Nicaragua. During the 1980s, Senator Edward Kennedy actually wrote a letter to the Soviet leader at the time. They kept dying, Magnus. I'm not sure if it was Andropov. Really Andropov. I don't know if it was Janenko, forget who, but he wrote whoever was a letter asking the Soviet leader, don't panic. Do not be impetuous. President Reagan will be dealt with in the United States. Do not do anything dramatic. We're eventually going to be back in control. It was a letter of pure sabotage. of the Reagan administration. The Democrat Party supported a client state in Nicaragua and were doing everything they could to undermine Reagan administration efforts to help Nicaragua remain independent so that it would not become a Soviet client state. Many Democrats signed what was called a Dear Commandante letter. The guy they supported down there was a man named Daniel Ortega. And the Democrats defeated a Reagan administration budget proposal that would have authorized money for the conference in Nicaragua. Nicaraguans opposing the Soviet client state immediately after that vote. Daniel Ortega got on a plane and flew off to Moscow and had a public celebration with Soviet leaders. And happily announced that the Soviets had committed to spending some hundreds of millions of dollars in Nicaragua for Ortega. And then Ortega got on a plane and went to New York and went shopping with the song stylists, Peter, Paul, and Mary. And Peter, Paul, and Mary took Daniel Ortega on a shopping spree to buy sunglasses. So this is nothing new. And the Democrats wrote Ortega a letter called Dear Commandante, please don't embarrass us like this. We give you what you want in the U.S. Congress, and you slam it right in our face by having a public meeting with the Soviets. You can't do this. So they knew what was going to do. And there are countless other examples of this. When George W. Bush was president, you had both Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and Bill, and Al Gore, who were traveling internationally and delivering anti-Bush statements, anti-Iraq war, anti-war on terrorism. The idea that Democrats undermine sitting Republican presidencies is not new. But it is going to have a different impact this time. That the left is not calculating and the media isn't calculating. The media is trying to ignore the Kerry story and not hype it. They're privately cheering it and hoping that Kerry continues. But this kind of stuff, they don't realize that this is helping Trump. Because again, they do not yet today know who the Trump voters are. They do not know the Trump base. They do not have the slightest idea. They think the Trump voter was a one-time mistake. That the Trump voter realizes that Trump is a one-term president. They don't have any idea why these people voted for Trump. They can't figure it out. And if they were told the truth, they wouldn't believe it. So Kerry is off doing this kind of stuff. But it's further evidence of why these people cannot be dealt with, cannot be compromised. They have to be defeated. There's another quote from this story. This week was a stark reminder of the importance of having judges who are interested in the rule of law and the Constitution, not advancing a political agenda. That's what's on the ballot this November. While the idea of beating back the liberal mob in the fields of science, journalism, and Hollywood is appealing and important, those are but the tentacles of the monster. The ballot box and the confirmation votes in the Senate are the only way to truly destroy liberalism. I just hope we destroy it before they destroy everything. They have to be destroyed. How to do so? Yes, the ballot box is key. And then the judiciary. The judiciary is where the Democrats and the left have their election insurance. For when they lose, they still have the power of the judiciary in their back pocket. And I just wanted to point it out because the idea is spreading. And you might think Russia doesn't need to be spread. Everybody knows, folks. Everybody doesn't think the left has to be defeated. They don't think that. You'd be amazed at the number of people still, particularly elected Republicans, who run for office. There's a guy in North Carolina, Tom Tillis, he still runs on the idea of walking and reaching across the aisle. Corker, these guys, they don't get it. Anyway, brief timeout. We will continue with much more right after this. Wherever you find concentrated, undiluted liberalism, you find misery.
Rush Limbaugh explains this phenomenon in his latest bonus report, The Joy of Conservatism. Available with a new subscription to the Limbaugh Letter. Order today and find out how you, too, can have more fun than a human being should be allowed to have. Available now at rushlimbaugh.com. You're listening to the EIB Network.
Hi, I'm Kyle Cox, owner of Blindster.com. I not only guarantee you'll love our blinds, I offer a fit-or-free guarantee, meaning if your blinds don't fit for any reason, I'll remake them free of charge. You only pay shipping. And now I've made it even easier. Check out our no-tool sailor shades, the first and only shades installed without screws or tools. And for Rush listeners, take up to 40% off any order. Just enter the code RUSH at checkout. Blindster.com. That's blindster.com.
How would you like $50 to try a new app that could change your life? For a limited time, when you download the Tackle app for free, you will get $50 off your first job. Tackle gives you access to background check providers, ready to make your life better. Have your house cleaned, yard mowed, junk hauled away, or handyman work done. There are hundreds of pre-priced chores you can tackle today. And for a limited time, download the free Tackle app to get $50 off your first job. Treat yourself to Tackle, T-A-K-L.
I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now. Employees are coming forward with reports of sexual harassment in greater numbers, and fewer are doing so anonymously, a sign they are less worried about retaliation in the current environment. The ethics and compliance software firm Conversant, which operates an employee helpline for nearly 600 companies around the world, says the number of harassment complaints reported over its helpline rose 67% in the second half of last year. Employees identified themselves by name in 61% of the reports, compared with 53% in the second half of 2016. New York regulators are cracking down on insurance policies that provide protection for members of the NRA in self-defense shootings. Big insurer Chubb has been fined $1.3 million for its carry guard policies. Regulators say they violate New York state law. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 164 points. That's Your Money Now.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded and book flown in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Stocks are soaring, and construction spending across America has been on the rise. If you've been waiting to build, the time is now. Whether you want to expand your business or you want to build a new garage, call General Steel today. Our metal buildings are custom designed for your needs. For example, a 40 by 60 is a great space for an auto shop or a 3-car garage. And if you call General Steel today, it's on sale now for under $25,000. Call 866-95-STEEL. 866-95-STEEL. That's 866-957-8335.
Yes, sir, we're back. Here we go back to the phones. Across Wisconsin, this is John. Great to have you. So glad you were patiently waited. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Rush. I'm glad to be on. The point I wanted to make is I've really been appalled all during the last week and reading about Senator McCain and all this spite relating to funeral arrangements. And, I mean, he's really just that eaten up with anger over it. Honestly, Rush, I think that at the funeral, someone should walk up just before they close the lid for the last time on Senator McCain. Someone should walk up, put in a copy of the Christopher Steele dossier, just so it can be with Senator McCain for a time.
Because this is obviously a reflection of the fact that Senator McCain was one of the leading political figures pushing the dossier. He actually sent a member of the staff over to the United Kingdom to get an early copy of it when he heard about it.
Yeah, that's true, Rush. And I've never heard any politics despite all the the facts come out since about how it wasn't true. And it just seems
Well, wait a minute. Has anybody apologized? Has Mueller apologized? Has Comey apologized? Has Brennan apologized? Has stupid idiot Clapper apologized? Has Steele apologized? Has Hillary apologized? Has any of them apologized?
no, they haven't, Rush, but I think that a lot of people who are reasonable, even if they never apologize themselves, they should see just how repentant and just hardcore with rage these haters are.
I think in that crowd, these haters that you say are viewed as doing the Lord's work.
Oh, I'm sure, Rush. I think that they look at this as sort of like President Lincoln suspending the writ of habeas corpus. It's just a national emergency that Hillary lost, and they need to put people in jail if necessary.
Let me ask you, what do you mean? You made some reference to Mr. McCain's, what did you say, his anger, or his, what did you say, spite?
Well, I think both of those are true, Rush. I don't think there's any question about it.
Well, you know, Trump did say that he doesn't have much respect for military people that get captured. And McCain's life story is based on his being captured and remaining in the Hillary Hill.
Well, he didn't accuse him of treason, Rush, or being a foreign conspirator. Come on, who's worse than this?
Do you think it's a little strange that as McCain approaches the end of his life, that these are the things on his mind?
I think that McCain was really angry that his side of the party seems to have lost all of the voters.
What did you make of his admission that choosing Sarah Palin was a mistake, that he really wanted Senator to leave her?
Well, I read the excerpt, Rush, and I think it was pitched to him by his advisors that, well, we'll lose if you pick Lieberman. And looking back now at the last 8-10 years, I'm not sure if McCain really even cared that much about winning the general election. He did, after all, suspend his campaign 2 months before election day.
That's because there was an economic crisis, fella. We need to be treated seriously.
Well, and it seems to me that people like Senator McCain or Mitt Romney, their main goal in these elections is just to deny the nomination to someone like, for example, Trump or any of the other candidates like that, and then they can just go fishing for all they care. I don't think McCain was really in it in 2008.
I disagree. I know what you're saying. I know the point that you're making, that it was, that you think they just wanted the next item on the resume. Nominated presidential candidate, Republican Party 2008. But I think McCain did want to win. I just think he made some drastic misjudgments long before he even entered the primaries. But that's then, and he's dealing with the now. I am glad you called. I appreciate it. There's the ear-splitting tone. Have to take a break.
As one of the region's fastest-growing catering companies, H&J Hospitality operates the most desired venues in our area, and they're proud to announce their newest location is now open at the Lansing Event Center. So if you're planning a party, business meeting, or wedding, call H&J Hospitality for a tour of the brand-new Lansing Event Center. H&J Hospitality always provides amazing food, detailed planning, and excellent service. When it's time to celebrate, visit hjhospitality.com and book your next event at the Lansing Event Center.
Go to zoomtan.com right now to buy your membership.
Here at News Talk WHCU, we promise to bring you more local news. world events, national headlines, the Finger Lakes news, info at the speed of life, more local news, breaking news, stimulating talk. We're 870 AM, 95.9 FM, News Talk WHCU. Here's your Salino and Barnes. Don't wait. Call 8. Weather Watcher forecast.
Today clearing with more sunshine expected through the afternoon. Highs rise near 67. Tonight cool and clear. Lows 36. Tomorrow sunny. Highs near 75. And the chance for an afternoon shower. For your complete first morning forecast, tune to WENY News. I'm meteorologist Allie Tepicki.
More local news.
For News Talk WHCU, I'm Chris Hedden. Senator Chuck Schumer says the Food and Drug Administration should immediately ban e-cigarette flavors like candy and cookies, which appeal to young people in the wake of warnings teens and children are increasingly using e-cigarettes. Schumer released a letter to FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb saying the agency had the legal authority to regulate e-cigarette flavors and encouraging it to do so. Schumer praised steps the FDA has taken, including sending warning letters last week to 13 manufacturers, distributors, and sellers over marketing, but he wants to see more. Wineries, cheese producers, food manufacturers, restaurateurs, and retailers from throughout New York State will be in Albany today for the New York Industry Association's 10th annual Sip and Sample tasting event. It's co-hosted by Senator Tom O'Mara and Assemblyman Phil Palmisano and takes place in the Legislative Office Building from 4 to 7 p.m. It features wineries, cheese producers, and food manufacturers from across the state, including right here in central and western New York. State Senator Jim Stewart says the recently adopted New York State budget includes, at his insistence, $200,000 for the city of Portland. The money's to help the area offset public safety costs generated due to being a SUNY host community. Stewart initially began the funding process for all SUNY host communities by instituting a pilot program, beginning with the 2016-17 state budget and continuing this year. And makes the three-year funding total for Portland $594,500. Checking WHCU sports, Ithaca College men's lacrosse lost the number one ranked RIT Saturday in the Liberty League final 23-3, but the Bombers get an at-large bid and face Stevenson 4 o'clock Wednesday at Higgins Field. Your Weather Watcher forecast calls for clear skies overnight tonight with 42 as the low temperature. News updates can be found at our website, WHCUradio.com. Breaking news, stimulating talk. It's what we do. I'm Chris Hedden.
Have my brain tied behind my back just to make it fair. We are very concerned with fairness here at the EIB Network. There's a new study out on identity theft. And it says that 1 million identity theft victims last year were young kids. And what's even more surprising is that in 1/3 of the cases, the cyber thief knows the child or the child's family. Now, this is stunning. Again, 1 million.
In a quarter mile, keep left at the fork to continue on California 134 East. Follow signs for Burbank, Pasadena.
Identity theft victims last year were young kids, and 1/3 of the cases, the cyber thief knew the child or the child's family, relatives, neighbors, you name it. See, all it takes is having a name, a birth date, in some cases a social security number. If you have that, if you have somebody's social, you can unlock them.
Keep left at the fork to continue on California 134 East.
A lot of doors. That's why you should never give anybody, except LifeLock, your social security number, but never anybody else. Unless somebody in an email is me you don't know. If people have that much information, then it's possible for them to open an account illegally. And then all they know, they can open a bank account, a fraudulent credit card account. And remember with cybercrime, you don't know when it happened. In fact, you may not know it when it is happening. And there's no shortage of examples of identity theft going on today. It's a silent crime. particularly for someone underage in these circumstances. And you know, with young people, the younger they are, when a young kid gets his first iPhone, loves to brag about it, loves to show his buddies, hey, look what I my new iPhone. Starts volunteering information. You just never know. So what can you do? What can you do to protect yourself or others in your family who have no intention of giving away information but inadvertently might? The best thing you can do, folks, is LifeLock. LifeLock provides the best solution when it comes to identity theft protection. The new LifeLock plans add the power of Norton security to help you protect you against threats to your identity and your devices. Norton protects your hardware. Norton protects, for example, your laptop against malware, ransomware. Other LifeLock efforts protect you online. So with the addition of Norton here, they're covering you top to bottom, in and out. When you or a family member are victim of identity theft, they've got a restoration team at LifeLock that comes through. They will stop until they have fixed everything and put you back to quote-unquote normal. If you have a problem, they have agents who work to fix it right alongside you. They have both contacts and experience to be in touch with the right people and restore your good name, which is what is at stake. If you ever have real identity theft, not just credit card theft or fraud, if somebody actually finds a way to become you, then you do not want any part of that. I mean, it can be rectified, but it takes a long time, and it is one of the most frustrating things. People who know you cannot accept that you are who you are if the computer doesn't get them. It's a mess. Now remember, no one can stop every cyber threat. No one company can prevent all identity theft. But I'm telling you right now that nobody's in LifeLock's league. Sign up today. Go online here at LifeLock.com or call them. 800-440-4833. Use my name. That's the promo code. And you'll save 10% off your first year. LifeLock 800-440-4833. Let's head back to audio soundbites. David Brooks. We're still here on the subject of the Democrats running on impeachment. Now remember, it was just 3 weeks ago that everybody in the media and all of the establishment types were talking about this big Democrat blue wave. It was going to sweep the Republicans out of office. It was going to stop Trump in his tracks, it would paralyze him. He wouldn't be able to get anything done. And then if the Democrats won the House, they were going to impeach Trump. Finally get rid of him. And now, 3 weeks later, the only Democrat voice still shouting for impeachment is the insane Maxine Waters. I mean, even Pencil-neck Schiff is warning against it now. David Brooks, who is famous for saying of Obama, I saw the crease in his slacks, I knew he would be a great president. He is the faux conservative columnist, New York Times, faux conservative analyst on the PBS NewsHour. Was in fact on the PBS NewsHour on Friday night. An affiliate anchor named John Yang. And he's talking to David Brooks about Rudy. Saying that Trump reimbursed Michael Cohen for the Stormy Daniels payment. Later saying he didn't really know all the details. PBS guy said, look, I know that you think that perhaps we're getting a little carried away with this focus on Stormy Daniels and payments, all this sort of thing. What do you mean we're getting carried away by it?
When you think about the important things that happened this week, probably the China-U.S. trade talks were very big. The North Korea-South Korea thing is problem solves. The economy's going great. And so apparently a lot of people have made the calculation, he's got always a bunch of scandal those people in Washington care about. But when you think about the big substantive things could be going fine. I think that the threat to our arms is serious and is poisonous to our country. But other people have said, no, I just care about the substance. And this week at least, this is pretty good. Those of us who are critical of Donald Trump can't hide from the facts that go against our story.
Whoa! Those of us who are critical of Donald Trump cannot hide from the facts that go against our story. So Brooks has come to the conclusion that Trump is achieving good results as a reprobate president. And if that's all people do, and the Stormy Daniels stuff and all the rest of it ain't gonna matter. Now he says that with a tinge of regret because he's right. It isn't going to happen. And let me tell you who we have to thank. You can disagree with me all you want, but we cannot deny that Bill Clinton was a great icebreaker on this one. I mean, it happened. It happened in Clinton's approval numbers. You remember they stayed between 55 and 60. And I'll tell you, I was dumbfounded at that point. I could not understand why they were at 55 and 60. It didn't make any sense to me. I mean, his approval numbers during the Lewinsky scandal, toward the middle and the end of it, were higher than any other time in his presidency. And I think it was primarily due to the fact that there wasn't anything perceived to be really wrong in the country. And the American people didn't want to upset anything. Most Americans are not dyed-in-the-wool ideologues. And so there was a natural tendency to be reflectively protective. And remember the way the media was portraying Ken Stark. He was a space alien from Mars who was a sex pervert. And on the side was selling cigarettes to kids. And they had great success with targeting kids. Brooks remembers this. I'm sure. Here's John Meacham, used to be at Newsweek. He was on Meet the Press on Sunday morning during the panel discussion about Trump being called a liar about the Stormy Daniels payments.
It took 4 years to get McCarthy. It took 3 years to get Andrew Johnson. Is it dark? I do know this historically, and I think we all know it too, that the presidents who get in trouble in the fullness of time are those who think they can put a fast food pass on people. And I think this will have a cumulative effect.
So he's telling you, be patient, look at me. It may take 3 or 4 years to get this guy. But we're going to get this guy because Trump's one of these guys who thinks he can pull a fast one on people. I don't think they have the slightest idea that Trump's people are not fooled by anything. Quite the contrary. I shouldn't really say this, but there's a part of me, I'll be honest with you, there's a part of me, Selena Zito, forgive me here, there's a part of me that does not want the left reading her. There's a part of me that wants them to continue to be ignorantly arrogant about the Trump electorate. But then I come and I say, no, they are so arrogant they can read it 10 times and it's not going to change their mind. They're just going to think Selena Zito is an idiot. They're not going to take the time to learn who, what, where, when, why about the Trump voters because Trump voters repulse them. The Trump voters infuriate them. They don't want to learn about them. They don't want to learn how to reach them. They don't want their votes. They cast them aside officially in November 2011. Speaking of Selena Zito, there she is. CNN this morning, Poppy Harlow is the info babe that's interviewing her. Question, look at the cover of the Daily News today. It's wrong again, talking about the Giuliani said the president doesn't have to comply with the subpoena, which is false. He dropped the bomb. The president may plead the fifth. Is this helping Trump and Zito in any way?
I think that what's happening in terms of his voters, okay, let's just think about them for a minute. I think that they've made this decision to wait and see what happens when the crowd's over in terms of when they're going to move or not away from him. I just think that they're waiting to see what the end result is. I think they've made the decision, look, if this turns out to be that there's a problem, he's a bad guy, then we're going to deal with it. This populist moment. He was a result of it. He wasn't the cause of it. It's more about them. So it's not always just about him.
They can't accept that. They believe Trump, just like every successful conservative. They believed in me. When this program first started, you people were idiots. Remember, you were mind them robots. I was some Svengali or Pine Piper. And you didn't know what to think, and you didn't know what to say, you didn't know how to vote until I told you. And to this day, that is how the left characterizes every prominent conservative or Republican. They're doing it with Trump. Trump is some wily, populist nationalist who's got people wrapped around his little finger. And they're so stupid they don't see that Trump's a blowhard and a phony and a liar. They haven't the slightest idea. They do not credit people like you with the ability to make up your own mind. And the funny thing about this is it's their voters. It's like Kanye West has been talking about. It's their voters who are mental slaves. It is their voters who do not credit anything. It is their voters who are basically just sponges in the mind of robots. They own them. Are
America's Internet, Rush on the EIB network.
Mother's Day's coming up, and let me guess, you're going to send her a really nice text message. If that's the case, you need to go back to the drawing board. Moms deserve more than a bunch of emoji. Do it right this year. Get a gift from 1-800-Flowers.com right now. 1-800-Flowers will give you a 24 multicolored rose selection and a free vase for only $29.99. That's such a deal. With a bright and beautiful mix of premium roses and rainbow colors, these blooms are guaranteed to make her smile. Multicolored roses are the perfect way to surprise all of the moms in your life. Your wife, your aunt, sister, your grandma. Order today, and you do it easily from 1-800-Flowers.com. 24 multicolored roses and a free vase, only $29.99. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, enter my name, Rush. 1-800-Flowers.com, code Rush. Hurry, the offer expires Friday.
I started Black Rifle Coffee Company in my basement with just $1,800 in a mission to change coffee culture forever. I'm Evan Hayford, Army veteran and founder of Black Rifle Coffee. At our company, we make our coffee with a kick of freedom. That means that everything you get from Black Rifle Coffee won't be handled by some soft-bodied hipster, tweet meanie, and a bad attitude. As veterans, we take extra pride in everything we do, so you can be assured that every time you drink Black Rifle Coffee, you're drinking the best premium quality, fresh roasted coffee money can buy. The best way to do that is to join our coffee club. Simply choose your roast, and we'll ship it right to your door, hassle-free every month. Plus, when you join, you'll get free shipping, discount codes, and offers on exclusive gear. It's a no-brainer. Go to blackriflecoffee.com/USA for 15% off your purchase. That's blackriflecoffee.com/USA for 15% off. blackriflecoffee.com/USA.
The Friends of the Tompkins County Public Library Spring Book Sale at 509 SD Ithaca runs for 3 weekends starting May 5th at 8 a.m. with a huge selection of used books. Visit booksale.org for sale times and low prices.
When you need a pro, you know the ones to call right here in your hometown. Professionals in the know, the very best around.
You know, my house is more than just a house. It's an appliance. In fact, it's several appliances. In the summer, it's an oven. In the winter, it's a freezer. Oh, and all year round, it sucks up energy like a vacuum cleaner.
Well, this sounds like a job for Hubbard Heating and Air. They'll keep you comfortable year-round while making your home as energy efficient as it can be. Hubbard's mission is to provide the highest quality engineering, installation, and service for your heating and air cooling needs. Remember, for all your heating and cooling system needs, the only place to call is Hubbard, 607-532-4739.
Quality is the difference. Hubbard Heating and Air, Hubbard's the one.
Here's some fresh out-of-the-oven jobs right here in the Finger Lakes. Natalie Robinson is looking for CDL and CDL drivers. Earhart Energy is looking for several positions to fill. Racker is looking for support professionals. From underline 6 tasting room staff and bartenders. Instant Basement is looking for a hiring foreman. And employers, don't forget, you can also book your job for just $99 and have your job up in minutes at otherfreshjobs.com.
trying it. I love this. They're using the same language that sanctuary cities use for illegal aliens and immigrants, and they're doing it for gun owners. 5 different places in Illinois. Ramming it down the left. Details of this when I get into more because I got to give it on Cameron in St. Louis. Great to have you, sir.
Thank you, Rob. Pleasure's all mine. So, changing gears a little bit from previous conversation today, there's a big Senate race, as you know, going on in West Virginia.
Right.
The real chance for the Republicans to flip the seat from Senator Joe Manchin. I have a list that we talked about, and the primary tomorrow. And it's really, really close. And this morning, President Trump tweeted to stay away from Blankenship because of his tax needs, and because he's essentially seems to be unelectable. And
this is the guy that's calling Mitch McConnell Cocaine Mitch, right?
Cocaine Mitch, yes. He does that. He got 4 book videos on the Washington Post and things like that, so he doesn't seem to be an electable guy. But President Trump, what he did was tweeted to support for 2 people. He said, don't vote for Don Blankenship. You should vote for either Congressman Evan Jenkins or Attorney General Patrick Morgan. So that scares me a little bit because he is endorsing 2 people. My thought is, what happens when that vote, if that
well, but it's a primary. See, he cannot endorse believe me, it's problematic to endorse one over another in a primary here. It's just because he doesn't want one of them may win. He doesn't want the guy mad at him. So he's asking people to avoid Blankenship. Whatever he said, remember Alabama. Remember Roy, what's his face? Yeah, Roy Moore. Don't want the same thing to happen. I understand it now. You think if he endorsed one of those guys have a better chance of winning, and that way cut into the whatever damage Blankenship's going to do. You may have a point, but I don't see how he can endorse one of these 2 guys. So he's trying to endorse both of them. We'll see what happens. The fact that Blankenship is attracting a crowd is its own interesting talking point. But no time to do that today. Look, we just had a little mention of 1-800-Flowers coming up for Mother's Day, and I want to add something to this. And that is that flowers on Mother's Day are automatic. I know a lot of people think that every day, every Mother's Day, Mom expects them. I'm going to do something different. Go ahead and do something different, but don't forget the flowers. And 1-800-Flowers makes this easy. Go to their website, 1-800-Flowers.com, and choose what you want. You can choose the delivery day. Remember, they do not cut these flowers and send them until the day you tell them you want them shipped and get delivered the next day. That's why they last so long. That's why the aroma is long-lasting. Why the flowers remain fresh, because they pick them the same day they're shipped. And take your pick on this website. We have all kinds of rose offers in the previous mention. 2 dozen multicolored roses, freebase $29.99, or whatever you want. But we're getting close. If you're thinking about it now, just do it. 1-800-Flowers.com. Click on the radio icon that you'll see in the upper right-hand corner and enter my name, and that's when the magic happens.
Unfiltered and unstoppable rush on the E-Beam Network.
Now, folks, sure, you could have surgery to look younger, but why would you do that? Joanne from Connecticut says, my husband looks 10 years younger using Genucel. He saw results the first day he used it. I've also had remarkable results. Can't be without it. Now, imagine the bags and puffiness under your eyes gone, and watch those sagging, droopy eyelids disappear. It's years off your appearance. Genucel by Chamonix contains natural ingredients for incredible results safely and quickly. In fact, with immediate effects, you'll see results like Joanne's in as little as 12 hours or your money back, guaranteed. And from now until Mother's Day, order Genucel and you can try Chamonix's brand new Genucel Eyelid Lift for droopy, sagging eyelids absolutely free. Chamonix will also include a free surprise luxury gift just for Mother's Day. Go to Genucel.com or call 800-822-5941.
800-822-5941. Call now and express shipping's also free. 800-822-5941. That's 800-822-5941. Or go to Genucel.com. That's Genucel.com.
Welcome to Ask the Allergist, brought to you by Asthma and Allergy Associates, with offices in Ithaca, Cortland, Elmira, Vestal, and Fayetteville.
Hello, this is Dr. Elliot Rubenstein of Asthma and Allergy Associates. Who has asthma and why? Asthma is a condition that causes episodes of increased airflow within the lungs. It is common and it affects more than 22 million people in the United States. Most asthma is due to allergic inflammation. Studies have shown that people with asthma have allergic triggers. The physicians at Asthma and Allergy Associates are experts in treating both allergies and asthma and can help you breathe easier.
Ask the Allergist is brought to you by Asthma and Allergy Associates, helping people breathe easier and find relief for over 30 years. Go to allergistdocs.com or call 1-800-88-ASTHMA. That's 1-800-88-ASTHMA. Cooks your holiday dinners, eats your hot tub, keeps that patio warm on a chilly night, grills all of your backyard barbecues, and heats your home. DeSanto Propane is always there for you. From the kitchen to the basement to the backyard, propane is a trusted, reliable energy source that is used year-round by more than 60 million Americans. And each day, more and more people choose DeSanto Propane for their home. For 80 years, DeSanto Propane is 4 generations strong as a trustworthy, family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com or call toll-free 1-800-752-4574 and like DeSanto Propane on Facebook for more tips and info today. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
The guy in Wisconsin has eaten his 30,000th Big Mac. 30,000 Big Macs over 46 years. Now look at this as a science experiment. The guy tried to give himself heart disease and failed. You could turn this around. You could say that we could conclude that eating one Big Mac a day will prevent heart disease for 46 years. Do you think the environmentalist wackos and the food Nazis will sign up for that?
Here's some fresh, out-of-the-oven jobs right here in the Finger Lakes. Tally Robinson is looking for CDL and CDA drivers. Earhart Energy is looking for several positions to fill. Racker is looking for support professionals. For Lemon Wine seeks tasting room staff and bartenders. Midstate Basement is looking for a hiring foreman. And employers, don't forget you can also book your job for just $99 and have your job up in minutes at ovenfreshjobs.com.
Here's your Escondido and Barnes. Don't wait. Call 8. Weather Watcher forecast.
Today, a very slight chance for a passing shower. Other than that, partly sunny today. Our high 64. We'll see clearing tonight, which will give way to some very cool temperatures. A low of 37 overnight. Tomorrow, very nice. Another warming trend will start with mostly sunny skies. A high of 71. It looks like sun warming for Wednesday. That's your Weather Watcher forecast.
870 AM, 95.9 FM, News Talk, WHCU Ithaca, WQNY-HD3 Ithaca, breaking news, stimulating talk. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Dave Barrett, no let up in the lava. That's what it sounds like. It continues to spew from Hawaii's Kilauea volcano on the Big Island. 1,700 residents have had to leave home. CBS's Carter Evans says not everyone did.
Sam Knox lives about 100 yards away from one of the eruptions.
Why did you choose to stay?
Because this is where I live, right here. I had faith from the gods that my house is going to be okay.
The lava is showing no signs of slowing down right now, and that's just one of the concerns here. Another is sulfur dioxide. That is a gas emitted by the lava. It can be deadly, and authorities say there are extremely high levels in what they call the hot zone.
As Gina Haspel makes the rounds speaking to senators on Capitol Hill, she is still in the running to be CIA director. Correspondent Jeff Begaze.
Haspel would be the first woman to leave the CIA, was chief of base at a covert detention site in Thailand where 2 terrorism suspects were waterboarded. Opponents are also concerned about her role in the destruction of videotapes of those interrogations.
A short time ago, Sarah Sanders at the White House briefing.
We think that Acting Director Haspel is a highly qualified, uniquely positioned individual to lead the CIA, and we're very confident in her ability to answer the questions that we know are going to come.
A day from now, as President Trump says in a tweet, he will announce his decision on the Iran nuclear deal, whether the U.S. will stay in or get out. Melania Trump about to discuss what's important to her. As First Lady, she'll be speaking at the White House. Correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
A year and 4 months into her time as First Lady, Melania Trump is set to unveil her initiatives for the Rose Garden. An aide says Mrs. Trump won't narrow her platform to one topic such as literacy, drug use, or obesity, but instead focus on a variety of issues and touch on the overall well-being of children.
CBS's Bill Rakoff says the list of defendants is larger in the Penn State University hazing case.
11 members of the now closed down Beta Theta Pi fraternity chapter at Penn State were held for court today on hazing and alcohol-related charges stemming from the February 2017 death of Timothy Piazza. He died of head and abdominal injuries following a night of heavy drinking. While saying there was enough evidence to hold the 11 on the hazing and alcohol charges, 14 other Beta Theta Pi members are already awaiting trial.
Some trucks may be rolling with Takata airbags inside. The government says repairs are still needed for owners of 2006 Ford Rangers and Mazda B-Series trucks as well. The Dow's up 79. This is CBS News.
You have enough things to worry about every day. Insurance shouldn't be one of them. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? Are you facing potential wage garnishments, levies, or tax liens? With a call to the Attorney's Tax Relief Helpline, you can get the tax help you need through special programs that can reduce your liability by thousands of dollars. Pick up your mobile phone and dial **1234. Yes, that's right. Pick up your mobile phone and dial **1234. Once you qualify and enrolled, the IRS will stop all collection activities against you. Attorney's Tax Relief has been helping consumers reduce their debt and are trusted and accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Again, on your mobile phone, dial *1234. That's *1234. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more, call Attorney's Tax Relief now and get free information and the seal you qualify. You can fix this, but don't wait any longer. Pick up your mobile phone and dial *1234. That's *1234.
Local news.
For News Talk WHCU, I'm Chris Heck. A celebration of life for Officer Colin Hayward Toland, the youngest Indiana Police Department member, is scheduled June 17th at Stewart Park. The family says the gathering's planned for the main pavilion from noon to 4 p.m., but that's tentative according to 14850.com.
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 45 for California 57 South Orange Freeway toward Santa Ana.
Saturday, March 17th at St. Luke's Research Hospital in Memphis after a lengthy struggle with brain cancer. The Ithaca Professional Firefighters Association hosts Kids Day at Stewart Park on August 18th from 10 to 2. If it's raining, the makeup date's Sunday the 19th. Free fire truck rides, fire extinguisher demonstrations, and other events will be available.
Firefighters will be on hand to answer questions about fire safety in the home and demonstrate the tools they use, like the Jaws of Life, thermal imaging cameras, and rope rescue equipment. Hundreds of families attend the summer tradition, and firefighters look forward to spending the day with people they protect. This event's free to all, so mark your calendars and bring the entire family down to Kids Day, presented by the Ithaca Professional Firefighters Association. Mike McCabe, WHCU News.
Governor Andrew Cuomo advanced the Save Our Waters bill last week. It prohibits leasing of lands, including underwater lands, for offshore drilling and exploration and drilling infrastructure in New York State waters. Cuomo's action was prompted by the Trump administration's plan to vastly expand offshore drilling in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. And Republican And lawmakers in the state Senate are pushing back against Governor Cuomo's lackluster forecast for the rest of the legislative session. The Senate's GOP leaders pointed to bills cutting taxes, toughening penalties for drug dealers, and making it harder for convicted violent offenders to get parole. As evidence, there's lots to do. Checking WHCU sports, the Mets are up against the Reds tonight at 7:05, while the Yankees play against the Red Sox.
In a quarter mile, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 45 for California 57 South Orange Freeway toward Santa Ana.
Tuesday at 7:05. Your Weather Watcher forecast calls for clear skies overnight. 42 is the low temperature. News updates at our website, WHCRadio.com. Breaking news and stimulating talk.
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 45.
Is what we do. I'm Chris Head.
Continue for 4 miles.
You have 13 people, they're angry Democrats, and that's not a fair situation.
Hillary Clinton statement is what I'm looking for. No undervotes, only a Q&A, and then we get the questions in advance, and they write the report 2 weeks before. We have to move quickly to hold the Attorney General of the United States in contempt, and that's what I'm going to print for this week.
Holding them accountable. Sean gets the answers no one else does. Freedom is back in style. Welcome to the revolution. Behind the scenes information with breaking news. More bold, inspired solutions for America.
I've got so much to say. Decisions. The First Lady is making her way to the podium to unveil her platform. And I know this is a big moment. We're going to take this because it's so important. I read the judges beat down from Friday 50 times. It's amazing. And this is a huge crowd and a big moment for the First Lady. Be your best. Here she is, Melania Trump, stepping up to the podium at the White House.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome to the White House. As a mother and as First Lady, it concerns me that in today's fast-paced,
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 22C for California 71 toward Corona.
an ever-connected world, children can be less prepared to express or manage their emotions, and oftentimes turn to forms of destructive or addictive behavior such as bullying, drug addiction, or even suicide. I feel strongly that as adults, we can and should be best at educating our children about the importance of a healthy and balanced life. So today, I'm very excited to announce Be Best, an awareness campaign dedicated to the most valuable and fragile among us, our children. There is one goal to be best, and that is to educate children about the many issues they are facing today. If we truly listen to what our kids have to say, whether it be their concerns or ideas, adults can provide them the support and tools they need to grow up to be happy and productive adults who contribute positively to society and their global.
In half a mile, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 22C for California 71 toward Corona.
Communities. At the same time, children deserve every opportunity to enjoy their innocence. Every child should know it is safe to make mistakes, and that there
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 22C.
are supportive adults and friends nearby to catch them if they fell.
Continue for 17 miles.
We also need to be mindful that they should learn to trust in themselves and their own emotions. I believe our responsibility lies in the critical time before a child reaches adulthood. Let us teach children the importance of all aspects of their well-being, which includes a social, emotional, and physical health. There are too many critical issues facing children today. So the three main pillars of Be Best will include well-being, social media use, and opioid abuse. Together, I believe we should strive to provide kids with the tools they need to cultivate their social and emotional health. We can and should teach children the importance of social and self-awareness, positive relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. Once a child understands these vital skills, they will be able to communicate openly with one another and instill positive feelings of mutual respect, compassion, and self-esteem. Let us teach our children the difference between right and wrong and encourage them to be best in their individual paths in life. Take, for example, Christian Box, a young man from York, Pennsylvania, who is here with us today. When he was in second grade, Christian introduced the body bench at his elementary school to address loneliness and help other kids build new friendships. The body bench allows classmates to connect during recess and helps ensure that no student feels lonely. If a child sits on the bench, it signals other students to come over and ask them to play. Christian school and community embrace the body bench, and today at least one can be found in all 50 states. Thank you, Christian, for your commitment to kindness. You should be very proud of your work, which is, I know, help countless children. Please stand up. I'd also like to talk about Orchard Lake Middle School in West Bloomingfield Township, Michigan. I visited the school in October as part of National Bullying Prevention Month to speak to its students about the importance of being kind. While I was there, I visited their Viking Huddle class, which focuses on social emotional learning and teaches lessons about respecting others, inclusion, and being kind. As part of Be Best, I plan to highlight ideas and programs such as Body Bench and Viking Huddle class, with the hope that other schools or community groups will be inspired to replace their efforts and take steps to improve the well-being of our children. We have invited some of the Viking Huddle class here today. Thank you all for being and taking time here with us in the White House. As we all know, social media can be both positively and negatively affect on our children, but too often it's used in negative ways. When children learn positive online behaviors early on, social media can be used in productive ways and can affect positive change. I do believe that children should be both seen and heard, and it is our responsibility as adults to educate and remind them that when they are using their voices, whether verbally or online, they must choose their words wisely and speak with respect and compassion. As an example, Kalani Goldberg, an 8th grade student from Arizona, posted a video to her social media account to share the challenges she faced from bullies. In the video she said, "Every day you're hurting me. Every day you're hurting each other. So please stop. Stop hurting me." Kalani and her family have joined us here today, and I'm happy to report that since posting her video, many have watched it, and most importantly, people have reached out to offer support and kindness. Thank you, Kalani, for being brave enough to share your story and also for using your experience to bring positive change. Please stand up, Kalani. I first learned about the real consequences of our nation's opioid epidemic during my husband's campaign. Since then, I have met with and learned from many people who have been affected by this true crisis. In October, I traveled to West Virginia to tour Lily's Place, the nation's first non-profit infant recovery center. Lily's Place puts a priority on the whole family so that infants born dependent on drugs are given the best opportunity to thrive. They have been successful in this endeavor because parents are also given the support and tools needed to recover and succeed. Lily's Place is a testament to the extraordinary work that everyday people can do when they put their mind to it. I will use the best to bring attention to programs such as this in order to encourage conversation and replication. In February, I went to Cincinnati Children's Hospital in Ohio, and a panel of doctors briefed me on the devastating effects that opioids are having, but also the important research on needle abstinence syndrome. I'm pleased to say that representatives from both Lily's Place and Cincinnati Children's Hospital are here today. Thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your heroic work on behalf of children. I want to thank the many people I have met with and learned from over the past year while researching these vital topics on behalf of children. This includes the cabinet secretaries who have joined us here today, as well as representatives from Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Twitter, Snap, Amazon, National Safety Council, and so many more. I would like to thank the President, the Vice President, Karen Pence, and other members of the administration, as well as the members of Congress who are here today. I'm honored to have you all with me, and I look forward to working together on the behalf of children in the coming years. In my time as First Lady of the United States, I will make every effort to be best at championing the many successful well-being programs in existence today and teach the tools and skills for emotional, social, and psychical well-being. I will also work to shine a spotlight on the people, organizations, and programs across the country that are helping children overcome the many issues they're facing as they grow up. I will continue speaking with leaders in the technology industry about children's online habits and raising awareness around the importance of positive behaviors. I will continue to work with those who are fighting drug addiction. And most importantly, I will continue to travel and speak to children directly about both their victories and difficult realities they face. My hope is that together we can be best at helping children and families find effective ways to educate themselves and support each other. I'm asking you all to join me in providing support and guidance to our children so that we can make a real difference. How we raise and educate our children on a variety of topics will provide a blueprint for the next generation. Together, let's encourage children to dream big, think big, and do all they can to be best in everything that they do. Thank you all for being here today. God bless you, your families, our children, and God bless the United States of America.
Melania Trump, not Trump in the audience, Mike Pence, his wife in the audience, because of campaign to help kids, covered by every network, interestingly, and I go, look, I have some experience. I know Melania Trump. I've really gotten to know her, and she's an extraordinary woman. And if you remember, English is her fifth language, not her first, second, third, or fourth. It reminds me, Harry Farber speaks 35 languages. I can barely speak English. I mean, very impressive. The president is now with her, and the president is coming up to the microphone.
Melania, thank you very much. That was truly a beautiful and heartfelt speech. So how she feels, very strong. America is truly blessed to have a First Lady who is so devoted to our country and to our children. Over the past 15 months, Melania has visited hospitals, schools, families who have suffered from the opioid crisis and suffered very deeply. Everywhere she has gone, Americans have been touched by her sincerity, moved by her grace, and lifted by her love. Melania, your care and compassion for our nation's children, and I have to say this, and I say it to you all the time, inspires us all. Today we pledge to be best. Best for our families, best for our communities, and best for our nation. And now I am proud to sign the Be Best proclamation, and I think you all know who's going to get the pen. Thank you.
All right, that's the president with nice word. I mean, that was an incredible speech, to be honest. And I know that she's just a very captivating person if you get to know her. We're way behind here. There's so much to get to tonight. So much. We'll get it all in somehow. Listen, Mother's Day is coming. No better time than to help you and your mom look their best. And I'm talking about Chamonix and their Genucel product. It gets rid of bags and puffiness under your eyes without surgery. I mean, so many people get surgery these days. Joanne from Connecticut writes this: my husband looks 10 years younger because of Genucel. It worked the first day he used it, and it works for me. I have remarkable results. Can't be without it. You're guaranteed those results in as little as 12 hours, or you get your money back guaranteed, no questions asked. And for one more week, if you order Genucel, you can try Chamonix's brand new Genucel Eyelid Lift. If you have a little bit of droop and sag in your eyelids, absolutely free. And for Mother's Day, Chamonix will include a second surprise luxury gift. Now's the time to go to Genucel.com, Genucel.com. They have a toll-free number. Call now, 800-SKIN-509, 800-SKIN-509. Call now and you get free express shipping. Genucel.com, 800-SKIN-509.
The Sean Hannity Show, a thermonuclear MMA assault on fake news. Hannity's on right now.
Like so many of you, I suffer from insomnia, but I'm doing better than ever thanks to my friends at MyPillow and my friend Mike Lindell. Not only do I fall asleep faster, but I stay asleep longer, and now you can too. It's really simple. Just go to MyPillow.com or call toll-free 800-919-6090. Use the promo code Hannity, and you get one of Mike's best offers ever. The special 4-pack. You get over 50% off 2 MyPillow premiums and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. MyPillow is made in the USA, has an unconditional 60-day money-back guarantee.
In 2 miles, use the left lane to take the California 91 East exit toward Riverside.
And the 10-year warranty. Just go to MyPillow.com or call 800-919-6090. Use the promo code Hannity. Mike's special 4-pack offer. You get 2 MyPillow premium pillows, 2 Go Anywhere pillows for over 50% off. Those pillows arrive, you start getting a kind of peaceful and restful and comfortable and deep healing and recuperative sleep you deserve, America. MyPillow.com, promo code Hannity.
Okay, so the big question for any decision you're going to make, is this actually going to work? Well, if you've heard about MediShare, which is a brilliant way of sharing your healthcare costs, you may have wondered that. Does it work? So did Dr. Stuart Hoover, who initially joined to save a lot of money. A typical family saves about $500 a month. Stuart saved even more.
When we first joined MediShare, we were immediately going from a little over $1,600 a month down to $460 basically a month.
So that's wonderful, but then his wife needed emergency surgery, and the bills added up to $160,000.
So we were seeing the bills coming in, and then the bills were being paid. portions were being shared, and the end result of this is this mill was taken care of.
Yes, MediShare works, and it's so easy to get your questions answered too. So why not? You can call right now, 855-94-BIBLE. That's 855.
In half a mile, use the left lane to take the California 91 East exit toward Riverside.
That's 94-BIBLE. 855-94-BIBLE.
I'm Bruce Bain with Your Money Now. U.S. Airlines collected $4.6 billion in baggage fees last year, a near 10%
Use the left lane to take the California 91 East exit.
increase from 2016. That represents 2.6% of industry sales. But the fees
Continue on California 91 East for 5 miles.
airlines charge when you change your reservation fell slightly to $2.86 billion, even though traffic increased. The airline industry consultant IdeaWorks estimates North American carriers generated about $15 billion from assorted extra fees last year. Higher oil prices have been a drag on airline stocks, and the New York Stock Exchange's ARCA Airline Index is down more than 1% today. But analysts at Morgan Stanley see a positive in higher fuel prices. They think it will limit airline capacity expansion and protect higher fares. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 103 points. The NASDAQ Composite is up 66. That's Your Money Now.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded and book flown in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Stocks are soaring, and construction spending across America has been on the rise. If you've been waiting to build, the time is now. Whether you want to expand your business or you want to build a new garage, call General Steel today. Our metal buildings are custom designed for your needs. For example, a 40 by 60 is a great space for an auto shop or a 3-car garage. And if you call General Steel today, it's on sale now for under $25,000. Call 866-95-STEEL. 866-95-STEEL. That's 866-957-8335. I'm speaking with the founder of Dermatology Associates of Ithaca, Dr. Josephine McAllister.
So May is National Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and so we're here to talk about that today, and I'm joined by my physician assistant, David Misro, and he is a skin cancer hero to many of our patients.
As part of our thorough skin examinations, if we come across any unusual, irregular, or suspicious skin lesions on the patient's body, we will go ahead and recommend biopsy at that time.
The biopsies that we do are as minimally invasive as possible, because if it turns out that it doesn't need any further treatment, we still want the scar to heal as well as possible and to look as natural as possible.
Once we have the diagnosis, then we can certainly recommend the appropriate treatment to give the patient the best cosmetic outcome.
So how do we get a hold of you, Doctor?
Go to our website, ithacaderm.com. Give us a call at the office, 257-1107. We have 2 convenient locations, one right here in Ithaca across from the mall, and our new location is in Portland, 3773 Looper Road.
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take the I-15 south exit toward San Diego.
Alright, as we roll along, Sean Hannity Show, 800-941-SEAN is our toll-free telephone number. You want to be a part of the program, right? So let me just explain what we got coming up here today, because we got a busy show, and we didn't expect this was happening at 3 Eastern, 12 on the West Coast. But so I have spent the weekend going over all 50 pages of this Judge Ellis in the Manafort case. It is the biggest judicial beatdown of the Office of Special Counsel. This is Andrew Weissman, the lead attorney in this case, in the courtroom. He wasn't arguing the case, that I've ever witnessed in my life. And the fact that the judge was so honest and saw right through what this special counsel is doing and said it so aggressively and articulately, I had to go back and read it again, and then again, and then I went back a 3rd time and pulled out all the information. Now, I'm going to take some time and do something I normally wouldn't do on this program. and that is, I'm going to just read from it. It's that powerful. And we also have the president announcing that they'll have a decision on the Iran deal tomorrow. My bet is...
In half a mile, use the right 2 lanes to take the I-15 south exit toward San Diego.
He is getting out of that horrible deal. And then you got John Kerry is doing his own diplomacy. Is he violating the law? Not that it would matter. Then we have Mark Meadows. He's upset, as is Devin Nunes and everyone in the Freedom Caucus. Why is there the...
Use the right 2 lanes to take the I-15 south exit.
Slow walking. Why won't the DOJ and FBI be transparent? We know the answer to that question.
Continue on I-15 south for 3/4 of a mile.
And we have so much more we'll get to today. Congressman Meadows, David Schoen, the attorney, Sarah Carter, so much. Stay with us. We'll continue.
In half a mile, keep right at the fork. Follow signs for I-15 south, San Diego. Keep right at the fork.
World events, national headlines, the Finger Lakes news, info at the speed of life, or local news, breaking news.
Continue on I-15 south for 59 miles.
Stimulating talk, we're 870 AM, 95.9 FM, News Talk, WHCU. Here's your Salino and Barnes. Don't wait, call 8. Weather Watcher forecast.
For the rest of our day today, there's a very slight chance for a passing shower. Partly sunny though, high of 64. Overnight tonight, we'll see some clearing, which is going to make for some cool temperatures overnight tonight. A low of 37. Tomorrow, beginning a little bit of a warming trend. Very nice and mostly sunny, high of 71. And that's your Weather Watcher forecast. CBS News update. So far, 26 homes have been destroyed by the volcano on Hawaii's Big Island. Debbie Akbayana worries about where her parents and brothers live close to the Kilauea eruption.
Just watching everybody come out of there with all their things. It's so sad. It's just so sad.
And Hawaii Volcanoes National Park spokeswoman Jessica Farrakhan.
This eruption that's happening in Milani could be days or weeks from now. It doesn't seem like there's a real close, definitive end in sight.
CBS's Carter Evans.
When these eruptions open up, it happens very fast. First it's steam, and then the red lava starts bubbling up. And if there's a lot of gases in there, which is often the case, it explodes violently, blowing lava up to 200 feet in the air. 100 feet in the air.
17 have been evacuated. Karen Conde is a Red Cross volunteer.
She'll get a good idea from my side. Because there's so much uncertainty.
CBS News update Dr. Kate Barry.
WHCU, I'm Chris Head. Governor Andrew Cuomo says a proposal to open supervised injection sites for illegal drug users in an effort to combat fatal overdoses will be closely reviewed. Cuomo said Friday the goal of fighting opioid overdoses is laudable, but that the plan to open injection sites raises legal questions. Mayor Bill de Blasio announced this morning the day prior for a one-year pilot program to operate 4 injection sites in New York City. Cuomo says the health department will review it. Sex and the City star and New York gubernatorial candidate Cynthia Nixon released tax returns, showing she and her wife had an income of $1.9 million last year and gave about $53,000 to charity.
Nixon's forms show her family derived most of its income from investments and royalties. Nixon is married to Christine Marinoni, who left her job in New York City government this year. The couple contributed about $53,000 to a variety of environmental, education, arts, and children's charities, as well as homeless shelters and a public library. Nixon's opponent, incumbent Governor Andrew Cuomo, similarly released his tax returns last month, like KWHC News.
A Trumansburg woman's going to compete in the Jeopardy Teachers Tournament set to air this week on NBC. According to Neighborhood Voice Rachel Diegelbergs, a special education teacher at Watkins Glen Elementary, back in March, she flew to Los Angeles to record her episode of the popular Home Good Show. Well, the farmers market started up its first Sunday opening for the 2018 season yesterday at Steamboat Landing. It's an owner-operated cooperative outlet with over 160 members who produce their own foods within 30 miles of the Diego Lake location. Markets open Saturdays and Sundays through December, with 2 satellite locations Park in Evansville Plaza. Checking WHCU Sports. The Mets face the Reds tonight at 7:05, while the Yankees play the Red Sox Tuesday at 7:05. Your weather watcher forecast calls for clear skies overnight, 42 with the low temperature. News updates at WHCUradio.com. Breaking news, stimulating talk. It's what we do. I'm Chris Hatton.
Flying to Places Theater Company continues our 2018 season with the musical James and the Giant Peach. The classic book by Roald Dahl comes roaring to life in this brand new musical by Pasek and Paul, the songwriting team that just won the Tony Award for Dear Evan Hansen and the Oscar for La La Land. Join James and his oversized insect friends as they jump aboard an enormous piece of fruit for the adventure of a lifetime. Featuring some of the brightest young talent from across the region, this is a show the whole family will love. James and the Giant Peach will be at the beautiful theater at Truman's Park Elementary School one weekend only. May 11 through 13, Friday and Saturday at 7, Sunday at 2. Get your tickets now at moneytoplaces.org. James and the Giant Peach is sponsored by the Helen Garden Inn and Kilpatrick's Public House. Additional support from Buttermilk Falls Pediatrics, Cuba Medical Center, and an anonymous fund to the Community Foundation of Tompkins County with season-long support from CSP Management. Find out more at moneytoplaces.org. That's runningtoplaces.org.
Talks to the people involved in the top stories of the day, every day. Sean Hannity is on.
All right, 25 now till the top of the hour. All right, Iran deal coming tomorrow. I expect the president pulls out. That's my guess. Also, we've got this issue. John Kerry now is reportedly going around the world trying to do his own little diplomacy and meeting with foreign leaders, strategizing how to go around the president's back. Really? I did read some time ago something about a Logan Act and some other issues. Where did I see this on Red State? You know, the Logan Act is one of the most peculiar laws in the books. I don't know who wrote this piece, but it's on Red State. In brief, it criminalizes any Republican speaking with any foreign leader when a Democrat's in the White House, but allows Democrats to actively undercut the foreign policy of any Republican president. And then they rightly point out when Michael Flynn, already on the federal payroll, talks to his soon-to-be counterparts, in the case of the Russian ambassador, and maybe discuss sanctions relief. Well, Flynn was accused of acting, and, Attorney General was, Sally Yates, of a Logan Act violation because he was interviewed by FBI agents. And there's apparently another law, unnamed, that prevents a Republican president-elect from contacting foreign leaders until he's actually inaugurated. You see the double standard? It's so despicable. Now, before I get into this beatdown that took place on Friday, on Saturday there was another huge setback for the Mueller team. This was 24 hours after this judge beat down Weissman and Mueller's team in a courtroom unlike anything I've ever seen. Anyway, but this was a different federal judge overseeing the only case Mueller has brought so far that is, quote, related to Russian interference. One against these, 13 Russian companies, or one company in particular called Concord Management and Concord Catering. Well, on Saturday, a federal judge rebuffed the special counsel's request to delay the court hearing, and this is the Russian troll farm case, and this is the one where the Internet Research Agency, Concord Management, with 13 of their employees were charged with spreading so-called fake news during the 2016 U.S. elections. And by the way, Evan Nunes warned about it, 2014, and Obama said weeks before the election could never happen. Anyway, that was scheduled for Wednesday. That will go forward. None of the indicted birds or citizens were expected to play along with the U.S. legal proceedings. It was just Mueller's way to say, here, we're going to support this. We're charging them. They live in Russia. Okay, we don't have an extradition treaty on such. This case was never supposed to move. Well, Concord Management decided to make it move. And they came forward, and the bid will now force Mueller's team to turn over relevant evidence to the Russian firm, as they now will have
discovery in this case, as they now are saying to the public.
Hello, Steve.
Hi, Dave. I'm about 45 minutes away from your place.
Okay.
So I just thought I'd let you know.
Well, it's good. You know, we've been waiting and waiting to hear from you. My goodness, it's taken so long. Wow.
Well, I had to take a nap.
Okay.
And I wanted to wait to call you until I was sure I wouldn't need another one.
All right. Sorry. Okay, we'll see you in 45 minutes then.
Okay. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Theaters, in a pretty embarrassing dismissal by the judge. Show us what you've got. I mean, it's pretty amazing. We also have the Trump-hating lovebird, Lisa Page, has resigned, while Peter Strzok clings to his job. Baker has also resigned. This happened on a Friday dump over the weekend. There's so much happening in this case, it's hard to get it all in here. Kevin Nunes, and we'll talk to Mark Meadows later in the program, he is now pushing to hold Jeff Sessions in contempt because they're slow-walking all of this information. We have checks and balances, co-equal branches of government, and they have oversight authority, and they're trying to do their job, and the DOJ keeps refusing to do it. And then when they send over material, it's so heavily redacted, it's useless, and they say it's for national security reasons, and then it turns out it's really about not embarrassing themselves. As in Comey admitting in his own notes, when they finally got to the redacted part, that Comey never thought General Flynn lied. Well, that's not about national security, that's about embarrassment. Because that embarrasses everybody because of what they did. James Baker has resigned from the FBI. In other words, everything we've been telling you is now true and coming more true every day. And there's still no evidence of Trump-Russia collusion. By the way, there's a poll. You know, I love this. Donald Trump has his highest approval ratings ever. Reuters does a poll. This is hilarious. That shows that the president's approval ratings had spiked since April the 27th. And this is their own response to their own polling. Every series of polls has an occasional outlier, and in our opinion, this is one. Because it's good for the president. So while our reportings and findings in the interest of transparency, we will not be announcing the start of a new trend until we have more data to validate this pattern, because the spike shows Trump getting 50% of the support from swing voting independents and 80% support from GOP supporters, 20% of Democrats. I'm sorry, Reuters, I didn't mean that. We didn't mean it. It must be a mistake. It can't possibly be true. Donald Trump's ratings are up. Let me now go to, by the way, Melania's popularity is off the charts. I don't have a lot of time. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to explain what's happening here. So anyway, they introduce everybody on Friday, and you have Andrew Weissman. Andrew Weissman is not arguing for the day. Mr. Weissman, good morning, Your Honor. Andrew Weissman from the Special Counsel's Office. Yeah, that's the guy that put 4 people in jail for a year, and that was overturned in the Fifth Circuit. He's the guy responsible for tens of thousands of Anderson and County employees losing their jobs and got overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court 9-0. Yeah, and he's the guy that withheld exculpatory evidence, so that means something. So right out of the box, the judge in this case, his name is Judge Ellis, the Honorable T.S. Ellis III. I've never seen anybody this good in my life. Let me ask a few facts so I can be clear. Let me ask the government, well, the special counsel a few questions. Mr. Freeman is the guy that is arguing. He said, yes, Your Honor. All right, the indictment against Mr. Manafort was filed in February, but actually was antedated by a filing in the District of Columbia. These allegations of bank fraud, false income tax returns, failure to register a report, failure to file reports of the FARCO, that's the foreign bank accounts, and bank fraud. These go back to 2005 to 2007 and so forth. Then the judge says clearly this investigation of Mr. Manafort's bank loans and so forth, which were brought up later, the appointment of way before predated any appointment of any special prosecutor, and therefore must have been underway by the Department of Justice for a considerable period before the letter of appointment, which is dated the 17th of May 2017. Am I correct? That is correct, Your Honor. All right. So when the special prosecutor was appointed, and I have the letter of appointment in front of me, what did they do? Turn over their file on their investigation of Manafort to you all? Essentially, Your Honor, special counsel was appointed to conduct interruption. Judge, I'm sorry. Answer my question. Did you remember what my question was? It's unbelievable. Then Mueller's team goes, yes, Your Honor, and I was attempting to answer your question. We did acquire the various investigatory threads that related to Mr. Manafort upon the appointment of special counsel. Now, the judge says, this judge, again, this guy needs to go down in history, T.S. Ellis III. He goes, apparently, if I look at the indictment, none of that information has anything to do with links or coordination between the Russian government and individuals associated with the campaign of Donald Trump. Now, that seems to me to be obvious because they all long predate any contact or any affiliation of this defendant with the campaign. So I don't see what relation this indictment has with anything the special counsel is authorized to investigate. And the judge goes on. It looks to me instead that what is happening is that this investigation was underway. It had something. The special prosecutor took it, not indictments, and then he writes, and then he says, in the time-honored practice of which I am fully familiar with, and exists largely in the drug area, if you get somebody in a conspiracy and you get something against them, you can then tighten the screws and they'll begin to provide information in what you're really interested in. And that seems to be what's happening here. I'm not saying it's illegitimate, but I think we ought to be very clear about these facts and what is happening. Now, I think you already conceded appropriately this investigation that has led to this indictment, long preceded the appointment of the special prosecutor, that it doesn't have anything to do with Russia or the campaign, and that he's indicted, and it's useful, as in many cases by prosecutors, to exert leverage on a defendant so the defendant will turn and provide information on what is really the focus of the special prosecutor. Where am I wrong in this regard? And Weissman's guy goes, well, the issue I think before you is whether Mr. Manafort can dismiss the indictment before you think. Then the judge steps in. Yes. Now I ask you, where am I wrong about that? Wow, this is so powerful. The guy says, Your Honor, our investigatory scope does not cover activities that led to the indictment in this case. The judge, it covers bank fraud in 2005 and 2007. Yes, Your Honor. Tell me how. And then he says, Your Honor, the authorization for special counsel to investigate matters described generally in the appointment order of May. I have it right in front of me, the judge says, and it won't surprise you to learn that I'm fully familiar with it. My question to you was, how does bank fraud and these other things that go back to 2005 through 2007, how does that have anything to do with links and or coordination between the Russian government and the individuals associated with the campaign of Donald Trump? Wow. Then he goes on, the special counsel attorney goes, on the authorization order to investigate different things described in separate clauses. Then the judge says, you're running away from my question again. You know I'm focused on the indictment that is here. Yes, correct. The judge goes, it involves facts and circumstances that go back as far as 2005 and come forward. Mr. Manafort's loans from several banks. You all claim he submitted fraudulent statements. I'm asking you, and I've already established this investigation long predated the special prosecutor. So what is really going on, it seems to me, is that this indictment is used as a means of exerting pressure on the defendant to give you information that really is in your appointment, but itself has nothing whatsoever to do with it. And they argue a little bit back and forth, about the investigatory scope and
And, well, one time he had relations with Russian-affiliated connections. Then the judge goes, this is a key question, the judge goes, are they Russian or Ukrainian? Because they're Ukrainian. I mean, I can't believe this is happening in a court of law. Then the guy says, oh, both, sir, both. Mr. Manafort works extensively in Ukraine and also business connections with individuals associated with Russia. In fact, we're talking about 2005 and 7 here. And then the court says, well, it didn't lead to that, and meaning the indictment. This was given to you by the Department of Justice. Am I correct? Well, I think, Your Honor, the investigation developed considerably with the special counsel. The court says, the judge says, wasn't it already in existence in the Department of Justice and they gave it to you when you were appointed? And then it goes on from there. And then the judge says, I think you would agree that the indictment we have before the court is not triggered by one, which says any links and or coordination between the Russian government and individuals associated with the campaign of President Trump. Bank fraud in 2005 and other things had nothing whatsoever to do with that. That's the judge. So when you go to number 2, it says any matters that arose or may arise directly from the investigation. The judge goes, well, this indictment didn't arise from your investigation. It arose from a pre-existing investigation, even assuming that 2 is a valid delegation because it's open-ended. Then he goes, go ahead, sir. And then the guy goes on to explain how he thinks that it is within the scope of the special counsel. And this is the killer. Your argument, the judge says, even though the investigation was really done by the Justice Department, handed to you, and then you're now using it, is as I indicated before. It's a means of persuading Mr. Manafort to provide information. Then he goes, it's a vernacular, by the way. I've been here, reading on the bench, a long time. The vernacular is to sing. That's what prosecutors use, but what you've got to be careful of is they may not just sing, they may also compose. In other words, make it up to get out of trouble. And then he said, well, then he goes on to say, I can see a few veteran defense counsel here. They spent a good deal of time in this courtroom trying to persuade a jury that there wasn't singing, there was a lot of composing going on. I have never seen anything like this. Then he goes into this last point I'm going to break here. What we don't want in this country is we don't want anyone with unfettered power. We don't want any federal judges with unfettered power. We don't want the elected officials with unfettered power. We don't want anybody, including the President of the United States, nobody to have unfettered power. So it's unlikely you're going to persuade me that the special prosecutor has unlimited powers to do anything he or she wants. Bam! That was the biggest beatdown I've ever seen in my life in a courtroom. That'd be interesting. And the sad thing is you can't even glean which way the judge is going to go on this thing. Holy. Wait till you see what we have planned for TV time. It's so good. All right. David Schoen, Sarah Carter respond to this next. Don't forget, Mother's Day, you have 6 days left. Think of all the moms in your life, the mother of your children. Think of your mother. Think of grandma. Think of your mother-in-law. Think of everybody. Don't you want to make them happy this Mother's Day? Well, our friends at 1-800-Flowers have an amazing offer every mom will love. When you order a dozen sorbet roses, 1-800-Flowers, they're going to give you an extra half dozen free and a vase, and it's just $29.99. So you buy a dozen, get a half dozen free, and a free vase, $29.99. This offer ends today, so order for all the moms in your life. They're absolutely beautiful shades of pink and orange and lavender. Just go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click on the radio icon, put in my last name, Hannity, to make all your moms happy. 1-800-Flowers.com, radio icon, Hannity, and this special deal ends today. Do it for all the moms in your life.
Sean Hannity.
Anyone who tells you you're too late to invest in cryptocurrencies has no idea what's about to happen next. I'm Tina Tawari. I'm a former hedge fund manager and I worked on Wall Street since the 1980s. To the dot-com boom, the housing boom, the gold boom, cryptocurrencies are the most compelling opportunity I've seen in 30 years. The only one you can start with just $100 and change your life. So I've teamed up to create a short course on crypto investing to help you learn, prepare, and profit. It shows you everything from what cryptocurrencies are, how they work, how to buy them, and what to buy. Even if you think the crypto bubble has burst, or too late, or too old, or technologically challenged, you must see this education course now. Go to howtocryptoclass.com now. That's howtocryptoclass.com.
When it comes to needing parts or service for your lawn equipment, Little's Lawn Equipment has the largest parts inventory in Central New York. Little's has parts in stock for things like Ferris, Simplicity, Gravy, Echo, Snapper, Snapper Pro, Massey Ferguson, Craftsman, Gun Cadet, Aaron's, Coles, Briggs, Tecumseh, PCS, AYP, MTD, Troyville, Murray, Husky, Generac, Kawasaki, and more. If you have the equipment, they have the part. That's Little's Lawn Equipment at 1113 Elmira Road, just 4 miles south of Ithaca on Route 13.
Go to zoomtan.com right now to buy your membership.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brad Yenser of the Medical Associates Dermatology. Oftentimes people will ask, when do I really need to be seen by a dermatologist? It's a good question. Here are some tips I encourage all to take into consideration. First, if you've been unsuccessful at treating a skin condition, you want to be sure you have the correct diagnosis. If you're not getting the results you desire, then it's probably a good idea to have it looked at by a dermatologist. Also, if you're worried about the possibility of skin cancer, I always recommend having it looked at. It's estimated that 1 in 50 Americans will develop an invasive melanoma in their lifetime. So if you feel something isn't right, please have it checked.
For all your skincare needs, trust the team at CMA Dermatology with locations in Ithaca and in Cortland. For more information, please visit CayugaMedicalAssociates.org under the Dermatology Specialty tab. Cayuga Medical Associates in partnership with Cayuga Medical Center.
As one of the region's fastest-growing catering companies, H&J Hospitality operates the most desired venues in our area, and they're proud to announce their newest location is now open at the Lansing Event Center. So if you're planning a party, business meeting, or wedding, call H&J Hospitality for a tour of the brand-new Lansing Event Center. H&J Hospitality always provides amazing food, detailed planning, and excellent service. When it's time to celebrate, visit hjhospitality.com and book your next event at the Lansing Event Center. This year's Ithaca Festival is coming to downtown Ithaca June 1st through the 3rd, and it's going to be better than ever. Catch performances from Ithaca's biggest bands, the Blind Spots, the Big Mean I-Town Review, Stone Cold Miracle, the Gun Poets, and more at the Bernie Milton Pavilion. Join us for the Ithaca Festival Parade on Friday, June 1st on Cayuga Street at 5:30 p.m. It's sure to be as quirky as ever. Get your grub on at one of the best festival food courts in the country, with local options from the award-winning Silo Food Truck, the Piggery, an international fair from around the world. DeWitt Park will host a Kids Adventure Zone featuring pony rides and a skate clinic presented by the Ithaca League of Women Rollers. And don't miss the new After Dark events, like the Silent Disco at Bernie Milton, featuring 18 of Ithaca's best DJs, and the Old Time Variety Show, featuring Whiskey Tango Sideshow, Saturday night at CSMA. Ithaca Festival, celebrating the artists and everyone. Find out more at ithacafestival.org.
I'm a college student and can use advice about my student loan.
I had to leave school, but I still have student loans to pay back.
I graduated and got the help I needed to pay back my loan in full. We're the NFCC, the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, with member offices nationwide that provide comprehensive financial reviews and student loan counseling. Call 877-406-6322 or visit us online at studentloanhelp.org.
All right, I got more time. We're going to go through this ruling on beatdown of the special counsel from Friday and the other news of the day. Oh, Iran vowing to resist the Trump decision. Oh, there's a threat for you.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. I believe buying a home is almost always a better idea than renting. But if the fear of a big down payment is holding you back, I've got some good news. Today, the average down payment for first-time home buyers is a lot less than 20%. And here's the best part. Our mortgage experts at Quicken Loans can help you find a variety of mortgage options that may require as little as 3% down. Now add to that Rocket Mortgage. It gives you a solid approval in as few as 8 minutes, which will give you an edge over other buyers. Here's something else to consider. For 8 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. So don't let the fear of a high down payment hold you back. Call America's largest mortgage lender at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Based on Rocket Mortgage data in comparison to public data records. For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Results may vary.
Clickers home for information. 870 AM, 95.9 FM. News Talk, WHCU.
Running Places continues our 2018 season with the musical James and the Giant Peach, and it's coming soon to the beautiful theater at Trumansburg Elementary School, May 11th and 13th, Friday and Saturday at 7, Sunday at 2. Get your tickets now at runningtoplaces.org. James and the Giant Peach is sponsored by the Hilliard Inn and Kilpatrick's Public House, with additional support from Buttermilk Falls Pediatrics, Cayuga Medical Center, and an anonymous fund to the Community Foundation of Tompkins County, with season-long support from CSP Management. Find out more at runningtoplaces.org.
Here's your Salino and Barnes Don't Wait, Call 8 Weather Watcher forecast.
Today, a very slight chance for a passing shower. Other than that, partly sunny today. Our high, 64. We'll see clearing tonight, which will give way to some very cool temperatures. A low of 37 overnight. Tomorrow, very nice. Another warming trend will start with mostly sunny skies and a high of 71. It looks like sun and warming through Wednesday. That's your Weather Watcher forecast.
870 AM, 95.9 FM, News Talk, WHCU Ithaca, WQNY HD3 Ithaca, breaking news, stimulating talk. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by ZipRecruiter.
I'm Dave Barrett. 1,700 residents who live close to the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii have gotten to safer places, but Red Cross's Coralie Matagoshi says there's still a lot of concern.
Because of the uncertainty, people are worried, especially about their pets and their belongings. They don't know whether they're ever going to see their home again. They don't know when they're going to be able to go back.
CBS's Carter Evans says the lava keeps erupting.
When you're standing near the lava, it's about 8 feet deep in some places, and it's black. It looks like it's cooled down on top, and there's a crust on top of it. But you can see through the cracks inside that it's glowing red and orange and still molten deep inside.
35 buildings now destroyed. Signed in 2015, the Iran nuclear deal is back in focus. CBS's Stephen Portnoy says President Trump will address it a day from now.
The deadline for his decision is Saturday. The president says he'll unveil it in a Rose Garden speech tomorrow afternoon. He announced last October that he'd no longer certify Iran was in compliance with the deal, but he said then that he would leave the agreement in place. European leaders have been urging him not to upend the deal this week, and instead to sign on to a side agreement they'll jointly propose to Tehran, touching on the president's concerns.
First Lady Melania Trump was in the Rose Garden this afternoon.
I'm very excited to announce Be Best, an awareness campaign dedicated to the most valuable and fragile among us, our children.
She said this program will focus on kids' well-being, their use of social media, and the danger of opioid abuse.
Together, I believe we should strive to provide kids with the tools they need to cultivate their social and emotional health.
CIA Director nominee Gina Haspel on Capitol Hill today speaking with senators. At the White House briefing, Haspel got a thumbs up from Sarah Sanders.
Her commitment to the agency is one of the reasons that she is the right person to lead it. She wants to do everything she can to make sure the integrity of the CIA remains intact.
The National Rifle Association says its new president will be retired Marine Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. He was commentator job at Fox to join the NRA full-time. 1,300 homes could be at risk from flooding around Missoula, Montana.
Clark Fork River could be at major flood level for the first time since 1981. Sheriff's deputies are encouraging some residents to pack up and go. On Wall Street at the close, the Dow now up 94 points. The Nasdaq plus 55. This is CBS News.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified candidates for businesses of all sizes. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Have you ever thought about saying goodbye to your job? Just walking into your boss and saying, I quit. And how would you like to commute to work without ever leaving your home? Well, not long ago, a 39-year-old entrepreneur from a millionaire family spent $20 million in 3 years to find the best home-based business in North America. He researched 70 different companies, and when he found the only one that had real long-term potential, he bought it. And right now, he's looking for people to help him turn this company into his next billion-dollar success story. So if you're serious about making money from home without having to leave your home, well, grab a pen. Because I'm about to give you the address of a website where you can learn all about this unique and rare opportunity. Write this down, www.goherenext.com. Now get on your computer and go to this site now. Part-time or full-time, your income is based totally on your performance. Interested? GoHereNext.com and say goodbye to your boss tomorrow. GoHereNext.com.
Local news.
For News Talk WHCU, I'm Chris Henry. Senator Chuck Schumer says the Food and Drug Administration should immediately ban e-cigarette flavors like candy and cookies, which appeal to young people in the wake of warnings teens and children are increasingly using e-cigarettes. Schumer released a letter to FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb saying the agency had the legal authority to regulate e-cigarette flavors and encouraging it to do so. Schumer praised steps the FDA has taken, including sending warning letters last week to 13 manufacturers, distributors, and sellers over marketing, but he wants to see more. Wineries, cheese producers, food manufacturers, restaurateurs, and retailers from throughout New York State will be in Albany today for the New York Industry Association's 5th annual Sip and Sample tasting event. It's co-hosted by Senator Tom O'Mara and Assemblyman Phil Lomasano and takes place in the Legislative Office Building from 4 to 7 p.m. It features wineries, cheese producers, and food manufacturers from across the state, including right here in central and western New York. State Senator Jim Stewart says the recently adopted New York State budget includes, at his insistence, $200,000 for the city of Portland. The money's helped the area offset public safety costs generated due to being a SUNY host community. Stewart initially began the funding process for all SUNY host communities by instituting a pilot program, beginning with the 2016-17 state budget and continuing this year. That makes the 3-year funding total for Portland $594,500. Checking WHCU Sports, Ithaca College men's lacrosse lost the #1 ranked RIT Saturday in the Liberty League Final 23-3, where the Bombers get an at-large bid and face Stevenson 4 o'clock Wednesday at Higgins Field. Your Weather Watcher forecast calls for clear skies overnight tonight with 42 as a low temperature. News updates can be found on our website, WHCRadio.com, video.com. Breaking news, stimulating talk is what we do. I'm Chris Henry.
You have 13 people, they're angry Democrats, and that's not a fair situation.
But Hillary Clinton treatment is what I'm looking for. No undervotes, only a Q&A, and then we get the questions in advance, and they write the report 2 weeks before. We have to move quickly to hold the Attorney General of the United States in contempt, and that's what I'm going to print for this week.
Holding them accountable. Sean gets the answers no one else does. Freedom is back in style. Welcome to the revolution. More behind-the-scenes information on breaking news and more bold, inspired solutions for America.
There have been people who have been making threats privately and publicly against me for quite some time.
And I think they should understand by now the Department of Justice is not going to be extolled. We're going to do what's required by the rule of law, and any kind of threats that anybody makes are not going to affect the way we do our job.
So last week we sent a subpoena, and then on Thursday we discovered that they're not going to comply with our subpoena. So what are you going to do? Very important information that we need.
So what are you going to do?
The only thing left that we can do is we have to move quickly to hold the Attorney General of the United States in contempt, and that's what I'm going to prep for this week.
None of that information has to do with information related to the Russian government coordination and the campaign of Donald Trump. It doesn't have anything to do. It's from years before. Then, how does this have anything to do with the campaign, the judge asks? Let me tell you, folks, we're all fighting battles, but I love fighting these battles. It's really awesome. There's no shot clock for getting the truth in this case. We need to know the truth. Did he or didn't he? Let's let the cards fall where they do. If the Trump presidency is a house of cards, let it fall too. We can argue about the points of law and obstruction, whatever business misdeeds of which Trump might be guilty. What I want to know, what the majority of Americans again have a right to know, is whether he cheated to win by having the Russians, even at the margins, stack the deck.
It's not just the legal component. There's also a political piece of this that comes into play. If the president does, say, decide to fight a subpoena, he may face political fallout, especially with the midterms just around the corner.
Nobody can be sure how this would turn out, but it doesn't seem like there's much reason for the White House to be optimistic that it would win such a fight. Right, so there you have the sights and sounds of a corrupt news media in America. Hour 2, Sean Hannity Show, 800-941-SEAN if you want to be a part of the program. As I went through in great detail in the last hour, I think the biggest judicial beatdown ever that I read all 50 pages 3 times now to make sure that I've gotten it right. And on top of that, then you've got another major setback for Robert Mueller and his band of very Democratic voters. And don't forget Andrew Weissman, the guy I've been telling you about. He was the one leading the team in front of this judge in the Manafort case on Friday. He wasn't arguing it, but he was the lead member. He's Robert Mueller's pit bull, according to the New York Times. Well, now we've got another pretty devastating blow as it relates to the Mueller team. It was just 24 hours later on Saturday. Mueller's team got another major setback by a different federal judge overseeing the only case Mueller has brought so far that's related to Russian interference against these so-called Russian trolls or Russian bots. And on Saturday, a federal during the 2016 U.S. elections. Now, a scheduled Wednesday arraignment of Concord must go forward, according to the district judge in that case. And none of the indicted firms or citizens are expected to play along, but lawyers for Concord management unexpectedly came forward. And as Politico says, the move appeared to be a bid to force Mueller's team to turn over relevant evidence to the Russian firm and perhaps even evade prosecutors into an embarrassing dismissal in order to avoid disclosing sensitive information. This is unbelievable what's happening here. Anyway, joining us, they've been with us the whole time in all of this. David Schoen is a civil liberties attorney, criminal rights attorney. Sarah Carter, investigative reporter, Fox News contributor. David, let's go to your legal expertise first. I've read this 3 times now, the entire transcript of everything that went down on Friday. I don't think in all my years of reading court cases, even somebody as stinging as Antonin Scalia, that I ever saw or read a judge being this brutal to one side.
Judge Phillips, no nonsense judge, been around a long time, in the late 70s on senior status now, great background, brilliant guy. He ended up. Look, the statute is very clear, the regulations are very clear. The limited jurisdiction of the special counsel is set out, specific technical statement of the matter to be investigated. That's regulation 600.4. The expanded, that has to be on specific approval of the deputy attorney general. If the attorney general is, in this case, has recused himself. He wants to know what it is. There is no longer any reason for the American public, for the judiciary, for Congress to be kept in the dark about what this mandate is for the special counsel, and it's also what we have said from the start. We need someone other than Rosenstein in the position, someone capable to be in that position to rein this thing in, to set out finite parameters to this investigation. And we're all...
Well, this is the argument that the judge, when the judge goes in, oh, you're like putting the screws to Manafort. Literally saying, come on, man. I'm reading a judge saying all of this. I see this in drug cases all the time, but you can't tell me that, a tax case from 2005 to 2007 has anything to do with the mandate that was put out by Rod Rosenstein to the special counsel, Robert Mueller and his team. And I'm sitting here saying, finally somebody's saying it, Sarah Carter, because it doesn't have anything to do with Trump-Russia collusion. And it's all about getting information to use from Manafort to prosecute or to impeach Donald Trump. The judge said it, not me.
The judge did say it, and what Mr. Dreeben was saying, who was there arguing on behalf of the special counsel and Weissman, which I think is really interesting, he wouldn't answer the question the judge kept asking him over and over again, because I went through these documents, these court documents multiple times too, Sean, and he kept saying, you're trying to get, you're trying to get this bird to sing. You're not bringing me anything new. These are old cases. And what are you trying to do here? You're trying to twist his arm into saying something, because one of the things the judge was really concerned about is, are you trying to get him to sing, or are you trying to get him to compose? Which means, are you trying to get him to make up something? Because your target really here is President Trump, and we're not going to put up with this. He also, I think, which was an excellent statement, that we don't want in this country, that we don't want anyone with unfettered power. Not you, not the president, not anybody. And I'm here to check you, and I'm checkmating you on that. And you need to answer my question. And over again, Dreeben refused to answer those questions.
Yeah, over and over again, the judge said, "That's nice. You're not answering my question, dude. You need me to remind you of what my question was?" I've never. Look, David, you have so much more experience than I do in a courtroom, and I know there are flamboyant judges out there with extraordinarily strong personalities. This is the strongest I've ever seen.
And that's not this judge. This judge is not one of these flashy, flamboyant people trying to make the show of himself, make himself the show. That's not what went on here. They've had enough. All of these things are tied together that you and Sarah Carter have been reporting on for a while. It's only redactions when they're finally revealed. You see, there was no reason to redact the Comey memos. There was no reason to redact the Flynn-related material that's now come open. These are all things that undermine the government case. That's why they kept them redacted. This is a pattern for people like Andrew Weissman, trying to convince people that what's false is really true. This judge had enough of that kind of thing, and I hope we see a start. If we see Congress pushing, and we see the judiciary pushing, and you keep up this fight, it's going to come out. It's going to come out in the open. And on top of all of this, of course, as you've reported many times, Sarah Carter has written about the FISA applications. We've got to get to the bottom of that, find out what exactly was in them. There is no longer any need for those.
Well, the judge is demanding that also, and the judge is going to get that.
Well, and that's exactly what the judge said. I mean, if you go through the transcripts and you read them thoroughly, read them all the way through, it's fascinating, because Dreeben himself brings up the fact that they have this August 2nd memo, that was put together by Rosenstein.
Oh, hang on one second. But the Rosenstein memo is August 2nd, Sarah, just to give people background. And the judge was saying, well, you didn't initiate this investigation. The DOJ handed it over to you, and you thought you could use it to put the screws on Manafort, so he would sing, his words again, not mine, or maybe compose, make things up, as you rightly point out. But they raided Manafort's home July 26th. That means they had to be investigating it way before that. That means it was retroactive on August 2nd when Rosenstein approved it.
Absolutely. And remember, they busted down his door at 3 a.m. He had
guns drawn.
They busted down his door. They came into the home. And now the judge is saying, okay, you have this memorandum. You turned this over to me, and 75% of it is redacted. I can't even see it. I can't even see the scope of this. I want this unredacted. I want this back in my hands, unredacted. I want to see what you guys put in there at the DOJ, what Rosenstein wrote. I want to see the scope of this investigation before we can move forward with it, and that is very important here.
All right, let me go to this second loss on Saturday as it relates to this Russian troll farm. I found that particularly fascinating because that's going to go forward now on Wednesday, and I suspect that, and there was some good legal analysis on it.
In 2 miles, take exit 37 for Deer Springs Road toward Mountain Meadow Road.
I suspect Mueller's going to pull out of it, and that's going to be another embarrassment to Mueller. Your thoughts, David Schoen?
I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable predicting these things with Mueller. You never know what his motive is. You never know what actual deals are being made with the lawyers who suddenly surface. In that case could open up a real can of worms. You're talking about a so-called disinformation campaign. I don't know what we're going to see there. It's very interesting. And there's no reason given so far for the judge's decision to move things along unless, again, she's simply exasperated with this stuff.
I know now this week, and this goes into your wheelhouse, Sarah Carter, that the House Intel Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, the House Freedom Caucus members, they're now fed up. They're fed up with the game of Rod Rosenstein. They're fed up with the FBI. They're fed up with the slow walking. They're fed up with the Attorney General. And now there is a lot of talk that they are going to move on the Attorney General and on Rod Rosenstein. What's the latest on it?
Well, they're not backing down, and realize this is the first time that they will be holding Attorney General Jeff Sessions in contempt. Before, it was always holding Rod Rosenstein in contempt and others. This will be the first time they're going to hold Attorney General Jeff Sessions in contempt, and they are frustrated. I mean, 2 weeks ago, they sent a classified letter asking for information.
In a quarter mile, take exit 37 for Deer Springs Road toward Mountain Meadow Road.
And it appears to be on a particular person, and it was completely ignored. Then last week they sent a subpoena, and it wasn't until they sent the subpoena that they get a response letter back, which I've obtained from the
Take exit 37.
Department of Justice, a response letter back from them saying, no, we're not going to give you anything because this is very dangerous and could threaten national security.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Deer Springs Road.
And they're saying, no, this can't threaten national security. We have the right to conduct oversight, and we cannot conduct oversight if you keep stymawing us and don't
turn left onto Deer Springs Road.
Walling us into all of these every time we request information on any of these issues. So they are very serious about this. I, contacted a number of people on the Hill asking, well, maybe this information is considered national security related. Is it highly sensitive, classified? They said, look,
which is allow Congress to do their job, their oversight. All right, stay right there. We'll take a break. More with David Schoen, and my friend Sarah Carter. 800-941-SEAN is our number. All right, like many of you, I do have insomnia because I'm up all night working, and I can't help it, reading 50 pages.
Continue for 1.5 miles.
Over and over again on the Manafort case. This is what I do for a living, but thank God when I do try to sleep, I sleep better than I ever have thanks to MyPillow and Mike Lindell. Now, it works. I don't know what else to tell you. It's neither drug nor alcohol induced. My head hits that pillow and out I go. I fall asleep faster. I stay asleep longer. You can too, just by going to mypillow.com or calling 800-919-6090, promo code Hannity. Mike Lindell is offering one of his best
In a quarter mile, turn left to stay on Mountain Meadow Road. Turn left to stay on Mountain Meadow Road. Continue on Mountain Meadow Road for 2 miles.